Welcome to the Dawg Chug. I'm Andy. That said, and down there is Roger, an angry guy who likes to get after it, likes to go after people, likes to keep things interesting for the show. How you doing, Roger?
That is number one. I am not angry. I don't fight with people till they start fighting with me. Today, again, I did nothing wrong. You know what? Let's back up. I realized today a couple times that it was Wednesday and not Tuesday. And then, of course, all of us realized that we hadn't written anything, we hadn't done anything yet. And so this morning I figured we needed some material, so I started a fight with Ken Carmen. How about that? Does that work?
Wait, so did you start the fight with Ken Carmen, or 5 seconds ago you said he started fighting with you, and then you started fighting back? Which one is it?
I didn't start a fight. That's the thing is, my comment was actually in agreement with what Ken was saying because I got mixed up in I was reading from sitting at home reading them to driving the man away to sitting at my desk, finish reading them. I replied and I went to Ken Carmen's main instead of one of the people on his post. You know what I mean? My reply was to somebody else, but then Ken chimed in and said what he said. And our last interaction is when he compared. I said Shedeur Sanders is a Big 12 quarterback. He played against Utah Utes, and his response to me was, "So was Patrick Mahomes." You know, he didn't say so is Baker Mayfield or Mason Rudolph or any. You compared him to Patrick Mahomes. I said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm not getting in it with Ken Carmen." That was our last. So for me, I was like, that's why I took a shot at him because I hold on to shit. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna hang on to it. I don't know how to do it. Oh my God.
Ed, please clip this. I think in the about 2 minute span, he made 5 different excuses for what went down. This is amazing.
I'll tell you what. You know what? Maybe you went to the school of Pete Hegseth right there. Pete Hegseth. Are you trying to it just seemed like you were all over the place. But
there's a difference between excuses and explanations, and I'm giving you explanations, not excuses, sir.
All right. But you gave us 5.
You know what? When it turned into this thing with Ken Carmen, which I never went after him, and he's like, "I cuss at." He's like, "I never cuss at you." So in the end, we became friends again. We hugged, I think.
Andy, we wanted an hour show. We said too. I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna get an hour show. Did you not call him a fanboy?
I did call him a fanboy, but I explained to him I call everybody fanboys. I do a podcast with 2 fanboys. That's what I told him. I said, so really.
Fine, that's fair, but he seemed to take offense to you saying that, and then he explained that wasn't cool. And instead of acknowledging that and saying that, I say that to everybody, no, don't take it personally, you doubled down.
Oh, right. Originally, I didn't say that to him. Originally, when he said he took offense to it, I said, "That's a shame" or something. I don't know. I forget what I said to him.
Wow. It's kind of
Ed,
does it ever feel like you're arguing with your wife?
What do you want me to do?
Talking to Roger?
Get a box of Kleenex, send some fruit basket?
No, I actually get more words in with my wife than I do Roger. So no, I don't. No, I don't.
Well,
you guys started it. Okay. All right, go ahead, Ed. I'm sorry.
No, I don't know what to make of this, Andy. I do like how you came out, Roger, with a fastball right to open the show with obviously today's shenanigans. Shout out to Libtardo shenanigans too. He put out a tweet basically insinuating violence. I guess he was upset with some Dodgers fans. I guess he claims they were starting fights in the stands. Maybe they didn't like the fact that some seats were blue, some seats were green. They got confused. Who knows? But obviously he wanted the Guardians to not only come back with the fight on the field, in which they did today, 7-4 good win for the Guards, but he also wanted the fans to take that fight to any Dodgers fans that he thought were taking over Progressive Field. So I don't know, Libtardo, shout out to you for even bringing that up. Inciting violence. It's a libtard thing to do, but in this case, I approve.
Nice. All right. Well, we'll get into everything a little bit later. I think we do want to keep this a tight show, an hour show. It's just going to be the 3 of us today, so you guys are in for a treat. The 3 of you that have continued supporting us, even though we've isolated ourselves from every group of Browns fandom out there. There's like a small pool of people that would pay attention to us, Roger. And every time you piss people off, we get a few less people that are in that pool. Something to be thoughtful about. Anyway.
Well, they're that soft, though? Are they that soft? Don't you
Roger,
think they want to argue with me? Don't
We can-
argue with me.
We could go
Watch
into the
and
woods
argue.
and scream at each other and just do that alone, or we could try and be a podcast where we get people to want to tune
I
in.
think there's a message here Andy's trying to convey, but I don't know. Maybe it's getting lost.
Hey, the only reason nobody's on tonight is because I didn't bother getting anybody on tonight. I got a better guest lined up than any podcast this month in all of Cleveland. So when that happens, we'll get to that. So
Sure.
Shout out
but
to
that's why nobody's on.
Yeah, no. Well, shout out to Mike Crutchfeld. I know he's watching or not watching because the Survivor's not on, but I just want to say this. You speaking of guests, Roger, did you ever get the Jesse Goddards? And yes, this one goes out to Mike Crutchfeld, the Jesse Goddards from Big Brother and all that reality TV right there. So just that's a little name dropping myself right there, Roger.
Wow.
I would get him if you tell me who he is because I don't watch reality TV.
Mm-hmm. Well, our friend of the show, Mike Crutchfeld does. Shout out to you, Mike Crutchfeld.
All right. Well, let's move it right along to some fun. Ed, I'm going to turn it to you.
All right. That's right. This is Ed in Columbus with your Dawg Chug. Breaking news. The Guardians were touched by an angel as Angel Martinez hit a 3-run homer to lift Cleveland over Los Angeles, beating the Dodgers, then dodging potholes on the way home. God bless you, Angel. Browns star defensive end Myles Garrett was a no-show at OTAs. Myles was 6,493 miles away in Japan, sacking his new girlfriend, Chloe Kim. No word on whether there was a helmet involved. And finally, it looks like our own Roger First has calmed down since his bet with Ken Carman earlier today on X. Fuck that. Michigan cheated, Guardians are mid, and 23-year-old ball players can be garbage. Now that ought to do it. This is Ed in Columbus with your Dawg Chug. Breaking news.
Wow. Well done. Except for that horrible pot joke. That was the pothole joke.
How are the potholes up there? I'm just curious.
They're
I
wonderful.
love the pothole jokes. You hit all the hot buttons. You hit them. I'm drinking the screw top wine tonight, the Carlos Rossi Paisan. So things should get interesting quick. I got a magnum of it.
We told Roger a little bit about this earlier, but we all went in on squares of what minute in the show Roger will rage quit tonight. I don't know if you saw last week, but he made it to about minute 669, 68, something like that. If you're drinking the wine, anyone that has them early, you're looking good. You're looking good.
I'm trying my best, Andy. I'm trying my best.
I wonder if Andy put on his Landry jersey right around when he's up on the clock and see if that'll do it.
It's contagious. It's
that
contagious.
Usually. Oh boy, I got to deal with.
Drew said,
I don't get enough abuse. I don't get enough abuse out there on X. I got to come here on Wednesday nights and get it from my
Drew,
friends.
are those potholes? Are they bullet holes? I don't know. It's Dayton. I love Dayton.
In Cleveland, it's a coin toss.
Yes. Roger, are you that soft that you're going to whine about a little abuse coming on the Dawg Chug? We talk shit about each other on this show, so, you got to deal when it's your turn.
You guys hurt my feelings. I got one feeling left, and you heard it. One.
Oh my God, you get into that feeling about 17 times a day. It seems like.
Those aren't feeling, Andy.
All right, well, let's move it along to a little top 10 action because I don't know about you, but I'd like to laugh.
Yeah, yeah. It's your topic. It was your topic because I didn't have a topic. It was the other day, and I started on a couple different ones, and but these ended up being from the home office in Canton, Ohio. Also, the home of Ken Carman. The top 10 ways our lives would be different in Cleveland without professional sports franchises. There's no Guardians, no Cleveland Cavs, no Browns. This is how our lives would be different. Number 10, there'd be no Dawg Chug. Number 9, we're starting off good. Number 9, all that Sunday antiquing you dream of doing is a reality. Number 8, lower divorce rates due to freed up Sundays. Number 7, our children will not look at us like losers for making them follow loser teams. Number 6, Paul Dolan would just be known as the cheap guy who never pitches in for pizza. Number 5, I'd love to tell you Nick Carnes will be posting poems in nature and cool hippie shit like that, but we all know he'd be jinxing some high school team on X. Number 4, higher divorce rates due to freed up Sundays. Number 3, Jimmy Haslam would just be a crooked hillbilly gas station owner to us. Number 2, nothing would change with LeBron. You cucks would still be running around fanboying in your Laker gear. And the number one way our lives would be different if professional sports didn't exist in Cleveland. Instead of local fanboy sports talk show, we'd have smooth jazz radio. I'm Roger First in Cuyahoga Falls, and you're not.
Wow. Let me ask you this: is any of them that there'll be a lower voice rate in Cleveland because of freed up Sundays? Was that one of your top 10? I feel like you read that one a couple of times. All right, well, that was great.
That's for emphasis. I think that's for emphasis.
It's amazing to imagine what our lives would be like without this misery we have to watch every single day.
That's what I came up with, apparently. Oh. Except for the LeBron one. Ed wrote that, Lysandra.
I didn't know. Oh, I see what you nice.
Well done. That was very fun and very funny. All right. Usually we play our game a little bit later in the show, but by then no one's going to be tuned in. So I'd say we go a little earlier. Plus, we're trying to get Roger to rage quit, and I think we'll have a higher chance of doing that. Yes. We're going to play a little game. Chugbot's going to try and host it, but I'm going to have to fill in occasionally for him because Roger can't understand him. So basically the game is this. Roger's accusing us of being fanboys, and I'm like the biggest homer, I admit it, but the question is, if I'm a fanboy of the Browns and Ed, you're a fanboy of the Buckeyes, is he a fanboy of the Guardians? And obviously it seems from my seat that he is.
I knew it was coming.
So that brings up the bigger question: who of the Dawg Chug hosts is the biggest cuck? And we're gonna play a little game to find out. Chugbot is gonna rule. So I say we get started. You guys ready? So we're going to have 4 rounds. Each round, Chugbot's going to grade our answers, and he's going to award Chugbot points. Cuck points. The more cuck points you get, the more of a cuck you are. You don't want cuck points, okay?
But you also higher the points. I don't want high points, right?
You want low points, but you have to answer honestly. That's the
all right.
So, and by the way, Pete, all the way from England, he says sup chuggers. Thank you for tuning in, Pete. It's probably like 4 a.m. over there. So it's pretty amazing.
Pete's got my back.
Yeah.
You know who loves me?
He's like the one Brown fan you haven't yelled at yet. You haven't gotten into a fight with yet.
Not yet. Give it a couple days.
All right. So we're going to start off this first round of who is the biggest cuck. And Roger, we're going to start with you. And it's very simple. This one's very simple. In your mind, are you a cuck when it comes to the Cleveland Guardians?
Absolutely not.
Do you want to expound on that at all?
Oh, well, yes, because you know what, man, the difference is I don't even live series by series, or I see the big picture. I saw when they put this core together in 2022, everybody's like, oh, trade away this, trade away that, and go all in. And they were nowhere near ready to go all in. They might be ready to go all in this year. I said 2028 is a window, but we got to back that up because there's going to be a strike at the end of 2026. So really, their window's been shortened to 2 years to win a World Series. But they're going to be a lot better shape on the other end of the strike. So no, I don't think I'm a cuck. I'm a realist. I don't even expect them to win a World Series this year. I really don't. I figured 26 to 28 was their real window. Considering the young guys, see, I pay attention to the farm system. I know who's coming up and who's going to be a major part of this core of the guys that we have, right now.
But how do you know they're going to be good?
Anybody have Daniel Schneemann or Gabriel Arias? You know what I mean? People, let's go out and get a bat. Let's get a bat. You got them. Look at Martinez. They have them in their system. You just got to give them time to develop, man. You got to give them time to develop. And you know what's going to give them time to develop is a year, a season, if not even longer strike, where MILB is still playing. And teams like Yankees and the Dodgers and the Padres that have no farm system are going to be fucked because they're not going to have nobody but college kids in their farm system trying to learn how to play Major League Baseball that quick when they come back with the collective bargaining agreement that includes salary caps and salary floors and TV revenue sharing. That's what's going to happen. So teams like the Guardians and the Pirates and Who's another great? The Boston Red Sox have a fantastic farm system. Those are the teams that are the Marlins are going to be successful after this strike. Right now, baseball, buy your World Series if you want to buy it right now. But no, I'm a realist when it comes to the Cleveland Guardians. I'm not a fanboy. You know what? I am a fanboy, but I'm not a cuck. How about that? I'm a Guardian fanboy. Well,
okay. Well, thank you. Chugbot, that was a lot of words. I hope you have the computing power to break it all down. But how many cuck points are you awarding?
He can't keep up with me as a computer.
That's a slick dodge, but his ex-meltdowns, like yelling at fans for Balin, prove he's more cut than he lets on. Cut points. 5. Half cool, half delusional.
All right. Ed, we're going to turn to you next.
What did he say? Can I get a translation? Because I don't.
5. You got 5.
5 cuck points on that one. He said because your meltdowns prove that you are a little cuckish with this team. Ed, obviously, do you think you're a cuck when it comes to the Ohio State Buckeyes?
Look, I don't think there's anything wrong with being a cuck for the Bucks, but I am not one. I am a real Buck for the Bucks, graduate of the Ohio State University, obviously born in Cleveland, but got to come to Columbus and be honored to fulfill my 4 years at the Ohio State University, where my fandom for the varsity football team has just grown over time. And it's a love not only for the university, but the state of Ohio. So no, I'm not a cuck. Honestly, and here's the real, I'll be honest with you, all that bullshit aside. Ryan Day, let's just be the heart of it. I said at the beginning of the year, it's make or break. I said at the beginning of the year, I said win the natty or bust, natty or bust. Yeah, we lost to Michigan. Fucking sucks. But it was natty or bust. That was to keep his job. Now he's got another window of 3 to 4 years. That's what we do at Ohio State. We win. Now, this year coming back, Memorial Tournament in Columbus today, golfing, Ryan Day and Nick Saban talking about Julian Sayin, the guy that's going to go to Ann Arbor and get the job done this year. But no, I'm not a cuck for the Bucks. I like to have fun. And, if you want cuckery, just, you can listen to Roger, or you can hear him rant tomorrow morning if you want that cuck shit. But it's not here. It's not in Columbus. It's the Bucks, baby. And we are number one.
Brother.
Okay. Let's Chugbot. How many cuck points are you awarding Ed?
That's a slick way to dodge the cuck label. But your natty or bust ultimatum and schoolboy loyalty scream you'd still cheer even if they tanks. Classic cuck denial. Cuck points. 6. You're cucking such a numbers harder than you admit. You do swilling fanboy.
Damn.
Wow. What do you going to bad bag me?
Damn. Got
6.
What do you think about that, Ed?
No, I'm okay with it. I believe there was an impassioned, argument that I gave why I'm not, but Chugbot chose to see it the other way. And you know what? Hey, it's fine. It's 6-5. It's early. We'll see.
All right. Okay, so I guess I have to answer for the Browns. Am I a cuck for the Browns? And I mean, look, of course I am. I'm like the biggest homer that there's ever been. I'm gonna love this team if they're fucking 0-17. I loved this team when they were 0-17. I mean, it wasn't my favorite season, but I still came to the game, supported them, and they're always gonna get my undying support. I'm a fan. So call me a cuck. I don't care.
You're a cuck, Andy. You're a cuck.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, shout out Sherry. I see. Shout out Sherry. I know.
Thank you. All right. So let's see. Wow. Hold on. Sorry. Chugbot, can you summarize your answer a little bit more? Jesus, we only have 39 minutes. Okay. Here we go.
That's some next level. Self-aware cuckery. Loving a team that's been a dumpster fire more often than not. Like your eternal optimism during the 2017 London game fiasco. Takes serious balls to admit. Cuck points. 8. You wearing that cuck badge with pride. You Cybertruck driven. Gambling fool.
Okay, so I am in the lead.
You
so
self-reported, and you self-reported, and you still got dinged for 8.
Wow.
Yeah,
He's tough.
He's tough. And, we'll see what happens on other rounds. We're going to go to round number 2, which is, Roger, we're going to start with you. I want you to say say something you don't like about the way the Cleveland Guardians are operating.
There's something.
Do you
You
want
know what,
like
man? I mean, there's things you can nitpick with them. Like today, why didn't he pinch it for Hedges? You know, you can pick. There's some things that Stephen Boat does sometimes and the same thing happened with Tito. You know, with the organization, man. You know what? I don't. It's the way they run the business, man. It's just the way they run the business. There's nothing that I can. I think they're doing the right thing by not spending until at least this deadline. I think that's when they'll go out and get a piece if they think they need it. Man, I have no complaints about how they do business as a baseball organization. They can't lay down money from 2035, future money. And you know what? That's going to catch up to the Dodgers because what are all these players that are making $350 million sitting around doing nothing, and there's nobody sitting in the stadium in LA? You know what I mean? And they've already put this money down from 10 years, in the future. It's a mess. I mean, that would piss me off. You know what I mean? Knowing that they're pending a strike and you're going to have $1 billion sitting on the bench not playing baseball and nobody in the stands, something like that would piss me off. The way they do business, fine. Stephen Boat sometimes, he's a second-year manager. He's got a young baseball team that's contending for, that was yet brought to the ALCS. What is there really to complain about? I think his use of the bullpen is great. You know what? I don't like the way he bounces everybody around the order. I understand the positions, but I would criticize, Gabriel Reyes, man, but put him in a spot and leave him. If it's 7, leave him. He looks like a hitter that doesn't want to bounce around the lineup. You know what I mean? He's more comfortable staying put. Just things like that I can nitpick. But overall, no, man, no, they're not. They're not the Cleveland Browns. So there's, I don't know, man. There's nothing I can really say overall that other than nitpicking little stuff. Go ahead, Chugbot. Cuck me. Cuck point.
Okay. Chugbot, what did you think of Rogers' answer there? How many Cuck points are you awarding?
That's a weak-ass jab, barely scratching the surface, and your fanboy love for the front office, despite your ex-Rams at fans and Ken Carman, shows you're too loyal to talk real shit. Cuck points. 6. You're cucking hard for the Guardians' penny pinching ways, you deaf-ass ranter.
6 points, Roger. 6.
6 points. I heard some of them.
I would have given him a 10 for that. You really can't say one bad thing about the way the front office is running things. I mean, it's absurd.
Lame.
Ed.
No. I really believe that when the owners 3 years they colluded against the players, they were guilty in court and everything. That's why they're such hypocrites when it comes to the steroids and all of things, because they're fucking hypocrites. But what they set the path to do is stop overpaying old veterans for something they did for somebody else. And it ceased to exist. And that was part of Billy being a money ball. But it's come back in because of TV money. That's what they're pressing out now. The Yankees and the Dodgers in San Diego, they're betting future TV money, and that's how they're paying their salaries. And it's crazy. It's insane.
All right. Ed?
Okay.
Can you say something bad about
I'm going to say something precise. Make the show under an hour, and I'm going to do it this way. Roger, that was a horrible answer because the Guardians don't win championships like the Ohio State Buckeyes do. I'm not changing shit about the Buckeyes. We have 37 programs, the most programs in all of college athletics, women's sports, men's sports. We do it all. We pay for it all. We do it in a way that we win in all facets. So the Ohio State sports program, that's right, we get it done. And shout out to John Derringer, passed away, music icon. Was the one that sang "Hang On, Sloopy." So rest in peace. You're a legend. But also, Andy, you got the Browns, so you have to say everything. They need to do everything differently because they do everything wrong. You got an easy one, Roger. I just can't believe it because here's the thing. I do like a lot of stuff the Guardians do. They're well run, but here's the thing. they didn't win it. You got to win. Like if they would have won 2016, I think we would be thinking differently. But you haven't won. You have the longest drought in Major League Baseball. So in this window that you keep talking about, we don't know if these guys are going to be good or not. Look, we got guys right now that I don't feel have enough experience to say if they're going to be good or not. Like Schneemans and Gabriel Arias's and all that. They need more playing time. But then we got the Blotters. We got people down, even further down in the farm system that you're looking forward to 27 and 28. We don't even know what we got yet. And I just feel like we have a bunch of like 4A players right now. Are they major leaguers or not? I don't know yet. And I don't think a lot of people know yet. But then we got these other studs that we're supposed to have coming. And it's just like, I don't know. And I just think the project that then you're going to be World Series champions because you don't even know what you have. Then you got supposedly studs coming. I don't know. So I just feel like your answer of saying nothing, I don't know. You got to win something first. The Buckeyes win. And that's why I'm not changing a damn thing.
Okay. Wow. All
Fair
right.
enough.
Well,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
talk about,
Okay. It's a fair assessment.
please review Ed's answer there.
And even throws in a random RIP shout out to the Hang On Sloopy creator who passed. That's a cocky flex. Barely dissing his own team while slinging shade at Roger. And the Sloopy tangent just screams clout chasing. Classic Ed. Cut points. 5. You're
Okay.
cutting for the Buckeyes with
Ooh.
that winner talk. You do swilling bragger.
I agree with just 5. I'd give you a 4. I'd give you a 4. And I agree with you at 100%. The only thing is, where are they going to get this experience to see? You know what I mean?
I know.
They gotta get it
I don't
somewhere.
know. I don't know.
So do you let him go off to New York like you did with? I saw his jersey. What's his name? Gio Osella.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Urshela. Yeah. Then he went to Toronto. Yeah.
Family. I forgot. That's what I was going to open with. So Ken Carmen ruined the show. We had the free tickets from the opener mishap on TV, and we were up at 5:45, man, and we heckled what's his name? Come on, Ed, I've been drinking wine. Me and my son Jack were heckling from the 500 section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otani, yeah. Now he saw Otani though, right?
But that's the thing. Are you going to let him go to the Yankees and all of a sudden in another season and a half he's a star, and you let him go? You know what I mean? It's that they're at that. I'm sorry, you're 100% right. I think you should got a 4. I disagree with Chug.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, making peace, I love.
All right. And can I say anything bad about the Browns? I mean,
It's a wine.
I want to keep the show under an hour, so I'll try and be brief here. But I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at the games. I love this team. I'm not going to, change the wrap of my obnoxious car. I have an orange wedding ring, right? I'm not going to change that. I love the team, but I don't love the way the team is run. I could say a bad thing about the front office. The way they are so secretive. It's like they're so insecure about having to answer hard questions. They just think it's cool to lie to us. Oh yeah, Watson's the best guy because we don't want to deal with the stories that'll be written if we acknowledge that he's having a tough year last year. And we're in a tough spot. I mean, you see guys stuck on the Steelers, and to their credit, their coach comes out and says, "Hey, played a shitty game." How fun would that be? There's a very big insecurity issue that I probably have with Barry and Stefanski, and I think it's just everything rolls from the top. And I think it's a big part of our issues. I think it's absurd that Nick Chubb isn't on this team. It might cost $3 million, and just for the PR alone, even though it's like probably not the right move from a football perspective. How do you let that guy who did so much for this team over the past few years to let him just sit there and maybe sign with Chicago? I don't quite get it. It's like they're content playing games. You are the worst football team the last few years. At least get this right, that you have to have Nick Chubb on the sidelines. Like,
maybe Jimmy Haslam ate that cereal and didn't like it.
I don't get it. And then, this year, like Libtardo put a poll out there. Are the Browns trying to win, or are they trying to develop players? And there was like 40% of fans that said they're trying to win. Like, what the fuck are you looking at? You look at the schedule, they're going to be 0-8. Like, maybe 1-7 will be like,
right.
That'd be fantastic, I guess. looking at the schedule, how tough it's going to be. Every team is like a playoff team. And Browns are in a tough spot. We don't have a quarterback. I like where they're headed, when I look at the long-term projection, but in the short term, there's a lot to be pissed off about. And it's hard to watch a press conference without rolling your eyes a few times. So, I'll be there, but I want to punch a few of these people in the face. Fair?
Yes, that would be cool.
All right. So, Chugbot, how many cuck points you give me this time?
Yeah, fighter.
Andy, repping the Browns, unloads that he hates their secretive bullshit, lying to fans when they mess up, refuses to admit fault, dangling Nick Chubb like a taunt to make fans quit, Callan M tone deaf, predicting on 0-8 start, and branding the Augur disaster. That's a brutal takedown. No punches pulled. Showing real spine despite your cuck admission last round. Savage truth over blind loyalty. Cuck points. 2. You barely cucking. You gambling truth teller. Ripping the Browns a new one.
All right.
How many?
2.
So let's recap. Like, how many do you have now, Andy?
I have 10.
I have 10, 5 and 5.
I have 11.
And Roger has 11.
6.
It's a close
No,
match.
I have 11. I have 5 and 6. I'm 11.
All right. Well, we got round 3 coming. Let's switch it up a little this time. We'll start with Ed.
Okay.
This, I'm going to bring up a question. Something that's plaguing all 3 of our favorite franchises, and I want you to answer to it. Just speak what your thoughts are. So you've kind of already mentioned Ed with the Buckeyes, but they want a natty, as you've pointed out.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to say they won that natty because their talent was head and shoulders above the rest of college football. Maybe they paid more money, but who knows? And maybe they won despite their head coach, who's more of like a mediocre head coach. And those are my words. You might not agree with that. But a lot of fans
I do
have issues that he's maybe not the best. But now he won, so he's here for long term. So can he become a top tier head coach and deliver multiple championships over the next decade? Or do they need to keep keeping the talent head and shoulders above the competition in order to give themselves a chance to win, Ed?
I mean, is this specifically to Ryan Day per se?
Yes.
I mean, is that what I don't know what more you don't like about him. I mean, he's been to 2 national championship games. He's won 1. First coach ever to go through the college football playoff system and win the real playoff 4-team, well, 3 if you get the bye, but 4-team playoff. 12 teams, obviously. But, I mean, just like the Buckeyes did in 2014, new playoff format, Buckeyes always win when there's changes. So I'm always welcoming change, unlike Michigan, who – good for them that they got theirs, but it took them, quite some time when they had a share in 97. One thing about Ohio State is that the dominance just kind of rolls from decade to decade. And in Michigan, we saw 5 losses last year. I mean, we're coming off a national. I bet you, Roger, Ohio State will not have 5 losses. We don't have 5 losses. What kind of season is that? You don't throw seasons away. You don't have 5 losses.
If you lost to Bowling Green, to Zips, Northern Michigan, and
the
Kentucky University, I wouldn't be upset too. And of course, you're not going to have 5 losses.
5 losses.
You don't play nobody.
Shout out Sherry and go Cats. Also, I know she loves her Florida Panthers.
Hey, I was going to have her come on.
You should have.
Well, maybe you'll need the help. I don't know. But all I gotta say is this. Okay, Ryan Day is an elite. You know what? What was it this year? Ohio State won 5 games in the for opponents in the top 5 or something. I mean, the things that Ryan Day did this year, historic. He's been a historic coach. He finally got over the hump. He got his natty. It's on now. He is the next coach in college football. The Buckeyes will reign in the next decade. Give me 2 to 3 more natty titles under Ryan Day. It's going to be fun. Let's go.
Who's your quarterback
Bucks.
this year?
Julian Sayin. Say his name.
Nobody even knows who that is.
You got some overhyped quarterback that eats cheeseburgers and is fat. You got a fat quarterback.
How much money what numbers do I get if Ed loses it before me?
Oh, I'm fine.
I got the.
You made the first half. I said within the first half hour. I'm 4 minutes over, so I'm trying desperately to get you off your game here.
I know you push the buttons.
Chugbot, How many Cuck points are you awarding Ed?
That's blind fanboy worship. Glossing over Days Michigan woes and fan gripes like he's fucking Saban. Peak cuckery for dodging the decade-long challenge. Cuck points. 8. You're cucking harder than ever for Days hype. You do swillin'.
Cheerleader. Meant to say cheerleader.
19 points I have now. 19.
All right. Roger, the Cleveland Guardians' edge in the American League Central is shrinking, and the front office needs to be flawless to compete with the big dogs. Are they closer to a mid-90s dynasty run, or doomed to fade out every 5 years like they always do? They like make the playoffs, and then they collapse, and then
because they run out of money. They need money.
Yeah, and then they have to restock the whole thing. I'm turning it to you, Roger.
Well, I think that's not actually true. They really don't look at the Baltimore Orioles. In 2016, the Baltimore Orioles, after they lost to us in the division round, I believe, they shut it down. They tore it down. They didn't resurface until 2023. All right. It's 2025, and they're back again in the bottom of the division. You know why? Because they stopped building through their farm system and they started going with free agents. All the free agents left after this last year, after the loss in the playoffs. That, you know what? I think something like that is a utter collapse. I think what they do is they do restock, and they have restocked. I don't think they're going to fizzle out after 5 years. And again, man, we have a major hurdle coming up after next season that isn't going to project that far into the baseball future. So coming out of a strike, they're going to be one of the best teams in baseball because of how deep their farm system is. So the next 5 years, I think it's going to be a dynasty into the next decade. How about that? Because of what will happen after the strike, or because of the CBA and the strike. So it's not going to fizzle out.
He says the good times are rolling, Andy. Good times are coming.
Wow, that's crazy. A whole decade of the Guardians being relevant. That will be fun. So you basically are saying the 90s are coming again.
Since Tito took over, and
it's just not as fun.
Years
It's
removed
not as
from
fun.
that.
We don't kick that.
I love what the Guardians are doing, and I'm a fan, and I believe in them, and I believe the future is bright, but they're not the 90s.
I know that was fun times of kicking ass and having and this is not that. This is not that.
All right, let's see. Okay, Chugbot.
Roger, repping the Guardians, dodges the question's core, claiming past struggles came from leaning too hard on free agency, and says building through the org will keep him elite and avoid fizzling out, with his only worry being the MLB strike, which he thinks will help cause of their elite farm system, making them a top franchise for a decade. That's a cucktastic sidestep, ignoring the playoffs collapse pattern and banking on a strike to save the day. Pure fanboy delusion. Cuck points. 7. You're cucking for the Guardians farm system like it's a golden ticket. UX rant and optimist.
All right. 7 Cuck points, Roger. I think
that leaves him with 18. 18.
I think you're still tied with Ed. Well, all right.
No, I got 19. I have 19.
Oh, wow. Holy cow. Well, it's going to come down to the final round. It's anyone's game. And my question that I have to answer to is many say you can't win in the modern NFL without a proven quarterback. Then Browns have 4 equally pathetic guys. Can they prove the doubters wrong and still have a successful 2025 season? And, look, I already kind of answered this. My best guess is that my best hope is like one of these between Pickett, Gabriel, and Sanders. One of them just does enough to be something you can hope to build on, or who knows? Maybe they have like an amazing season. That's like a 5% chance it's going to happen. We do not have the future quarterback of the Cleveland Browns we're gonna have to wait until next year's draft and then hope they come in and they're good. And if that happens, we have a shot, guys. But I like these three guys as like maybe a backup, but I'm not gonna get deluded into thinking they're much more than that. This feels sort of like when Hugh Jackson came out and said, "Trust me," with Cody Kessler. I like all these guys. They all seem like they're kind of hardworking. Like, you know what? I liked the Sanders kid. They came out and said he bought a $500,000 Rolls Royce, or $500,000 Rolls Royce, which was like 1/8 of his total NFL compensation. And he just came out and said, "Nope, I didn't do that," or whatever. He didn't like get angry about it or whatever. And it was kind of a cool moment. He seems like he knows how to handle the social media a lot better than some of the other top tier NFL quarterbacks we've had coming through. A little bit of sign to hope, but do I think that means he's going to be a good quarterback? No, I don't. So there you go. Can you what do you think about Ed? Because I know you've had a lot of Sanders thoughts.
Yeah, no, I think until proven otherwise, I mean, you got guys, I mean, even Flacco, Pickett, and Gabriel and Sanders. And, I think they could go in and be serviceable in a game and to a backup level at this point. And I think Flacco has obviously flashes of it can have flashes of brilliance, but I mean, he's older than he was. So, I mean, to project that he's going to be what he was in 2023, I think Browns fans, I mean, we have that hope, but I mean, to actually, like Vegas would say, projected on what it means for a win-loss and what it means for, I don't think we're going to get exactly the same Flacco that we left. I think Sanders is showing that he's obviously, I think he's capable of running the team. Now, I don't know if he's an NFL service. We'll have to see when live bullets, but he does have command. I think even Dylan Gabriel, I think from that standpoint of running a huddle, being prepared, not looking like idiots, like maybe like the 99 Browns sometimes, I think they are ready in that standpoint. We obviously know Pickett can, it's just problem is when he throws the ball or loses the ball before he throws the ball, or, that's the issue. But yeah, I think, Andy, your assessment of the quarterback room and what you kind of portrayed them, you're not calling them idiots per se and doofuses, but until they prove something, that's kind of what they are. And I don't think that's, anything, to be sad about. They just got to go to camp and get better.
How many Cuck points do you think Chugbot's going to award me on that one?
4, because you have it programmed, probably.
I do not. All right, but we'll find out right here. Chugbot.
Admitting the QB room's a mess despite your eternal Browns love. You're clinging to hope for a future draft pick instead of fassing the 2025 season head-on as a bit cucky. Echoes of your past draft strategy chats. Cut points. 6. You're half cucking by dodging the now for a dream QB. You gambling optimist.
All right. And now we're going to move on to round number 4.
Okay.
Which Chugbot, what is? Hold on, he's telling me. Okay. Oh, I got it. Who should we start with this time?
You haven't started yet.
I'll start.
And how many points, Andy? Let's go over the points right now. I have 19. Roger has 18, and you have how many?
Let's see.
6. You just had 6.
Got 6. I had 2, and I had 8. So okay. 16.
16, 18, 19. Okay, anybody's game.
Anyone's game. All right. This one is, and you got to be honest, within the next 3 years, do you think your team is going to win a national championship? And I guess if you don't think they're going to win a national championship, you should then say how far you think they're going to go. Fair enough?
Fair.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess. All right.
I'm going to
serious, right?
I don't. My goal is not for the Browns to win a national championship because they're I guess that's called the Super Bowl. Sorry, they're so far removed from winning a Super Bowl, and I'm not even confident about the front office and the coaching staff. I mean, I like aspects of both, and I'm glad we've maintained some cohesiveness for the first time in our franchise. It's something to look forward to. But do I think this team is close to winning a Super Bowl? Oh my God. I just want them to fucking have a prayer of winning the AFC North, which we're We are not even 3 years away from doing that, in my opinion. No. I mean, even if they get the quarterback and then he turns out to be good, Josh Allen took like what, 3 to 4 years until he like started playing at an elite level. And there's probably not much chance that the coach and the general manager are going to survive if we kind of go into that kind of thing. So no, we're not close to anything. All I'm saying is I'm close to thinking like the Browns might not be completely shitty. I think I'm just looking for them to be shitty. So there you go. And Ed, what do you think about that? Like, you're a big Browns fan.
You got the easiest one of all the teams for phrasing the question. Look, you would got a million Cuck points if you would have said they're going to win a Super Bowl. But then again, I don't know if it's a Cuck. I think you actually just need to go to the loony bin, the crazy. I mean, for anybody to say the Browns are going to win a Super Bowl in 3 years, that's crazy talk. That's not even just cuckery. That's actually trying to, there's mental tests that need to be done upon that individual.
Okay. And Roger, you called me a fanboy about the Browns. So am I being truthful? Am I making this up to win the game, or is this what I actually feel?
No. I mean, you're being truthful. Anything other than that, you're just being ridiculous, and you got your pom-poms back out. And I'm glad that you tucked them away to answer this question. I think honestly, because you didn't fanboy it. I'm going to be honest. Man, to expect anything different, I think they're trying to ride the storm out to the new building's built, and they can ride in with a new young quarterback. They're hoping that Shedeur Sanders and his what do they call it? His brand and just the fanboyism. Just he wins
His aura,
enough, does enough. He's going to get some coaches fired, and we're going to get some new coaches. You might even get primetime in the saddle before the new thing even kicks off. So there's a world of possibilities out there, Andy. So no, I think you're being absolutely realistic. If the Browns win a Super Bowl before in the next 3 years, you think of something I have to do, and I'll fucking do it. How about that?
Okay. I'll start thinking. All right, Chuckbot, what do you think about that answer that I just gave?
That's a bleak take. Admitting defeat before the fight, especially with your eternal optimism we've seen before, like your faith in Shedeur Sanders at minicamp, making this a cuck out of epic proportions. Cuck points. 9. You're cucking hard by setting the bar lower than your gambling bets.
Wow.
Hit you hard.
Let's get you to 25, Andy. You're at 25.
Wow.
Maybe we need to ask Chug about what his definition of a cuck is, because I think he's a little confused.
I know. I'm going to have to go the opposite answer just to try to get a low score here.
All right.
Of course,
Ed, do you think the Buckeyes will win national championships within the next 3 years? And if so,
I think they're going to win. He thinks they're going to win one every month.
No,
every fucking year.
I think with the new format, I do think it makes teams, you have to be a complete team to win a championship. Now, one thing, Ohio State obviously had an upsetting loss against Michigan, but they were the complete team. You can say they paid for it, whatever. But I think the best team in college football won. They were the most complete team, just like the year before Michigan was the most complete team. Now, I think the problem is coming back. Ohio State is a really good team. And in the BCS era, they could have a light schedule and get to the championship game because it's 1 and 2. But the fact that you have to play this 12-team playoff, you have to be the most complete team. And I think that anytime you got a new starting quarterback coming in. So, but do I think in 3 years they could win one? Yes. Do I think they can make a national championship game? Yes. Do I think they could also, not, but be very competitive in this college football playoff? Yes. But it's Ohio State. So, but I'm probably looking at no, but I think they're a really strong team and do some really great things. And that's all you can ask for as an Ohio State fan.
Wow. Roger, was that a fair answer? You guys have a big rivalry with
no, that was absolutely a fair answer. The playing right now until they wrangle in the the NIL money and they get the grip on controlling all of that. It's the Wild Wild West, and anybody, all it takes is a bunch of boosters at one school to come up with $5, $8, $10, $12 million. You know what I mean? And pay a couple players to come and try to win
Hey, Roger.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah.
Check this out. So Ohio State paid about $22 million in NIL money this year. Reportedly, this is reported, but close to it. University of Texas, who plays Ohio State in week 1, they're going to be close up to $40 million.
Right. So whoever wants to ante up right now, it is insane.
With
And
Arch
Major League
Manning,
Baseball.
40 million
And
with Arch Manning.
40 million. Right. Why is he coming to the Browns if he's going to make that fucking
I
college?
know.
You know what I mean? You know what? Where they're headed is to betting on like the Dodgers spending money that's 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
Is where they're headed. So they need to wrangle it in right now, or they're going to be in the same situation Major League Baseball's in.
All right. Chugbot, what did you think of Ed's answer there?
Less than six.
That's a half-hearted hedge, showing some realism with the QB and roster gaps, but still clinging to hope despite his earlier fanboying over Ryan Day. Smells like a cuck who can't fully commit to the doubt. Cuck points. 6. You're cucking by straddling the fence. You deuce willing
I
dreamer.
agree.
Wow. You wanted
That's
6,
he
right?
said 6.
6.
We're tied, Andy. 25-25.
All right. Now, Roger, we're going to turn it to you. Will the Guardians win a what do they call that? A World Series over the next 3 years?
Yeah, what's that called?
Commissioner's
That's so
Trophy.
long.
Sorry, Roger. What's that?
I said the Commissioner's Trophy, and that hurts. That's harsh off the rip, I had. You know what, man? It would be an easy answer because that was the window for me. Now it's been sped up, like I spoke about with the strike, and I've really been doing a lot of thinking about that because what are they going to do? Are they going to put, say, Bazana comes off the IR, he's in it right now, and they get him working? Are they going to risk next year putting him on the 40-man roster, knowing that they may be striking for a year? Or are they going to keep him in the minor leagues so he can continue to play baseball and develop? And they got a lot of ball players in their minor league system that I thought would be coming up to play in World Series games in 27 or 28 that may have hampered that because of the strike coming up. I don't see front offices, and I think it's going to happen throughout baseball, where they're going to pull in the reins on bringing young kids up because of the pending strike. Because if they're on the 40-man roster, they're not playing fucking baseball. They're sitting at home getting fat with all their millions of dollars. And how good are they going to be when they come back? It's not going to be like guys coming back from the fucking war in the 40s where they're ready to play baseball because they get beating the fucking Nazis. You know what I mean? It's going to be sitting in the fucking island, sipping on drinks, getting fat, smoking fucking ganja, and they're going to come back and play baseball. Juan Soto's going to bitch because he dropped down. Hey, let's pay all that money to Soto. What if we came to the Guardians and he said, fuck you, I suck right now because I'm not doing fucking roids and I'm not killing the ball. So you're going to drop me into order and I'm not going to play, or I'm going to stand there and take 3 strikes? How would Cleveland feel? You want that? You want that kind of bullshit on your baseball team? You know what? I forget what we're talking about because I'm half leader in the fucking line. So that's my answer.
Wow. Sticking to it.
I'm sticking to
it. Nice.
I don't think they will. All joking aside, because of what the pending strike is, if they got a 2-year window now. They got this season and next. Because baseball's shutting down, people. Baseball is shutting down, and it'll probably be I don't know, man. It can be a year before they get it back up and running. So
okay.
We need a 7, Andy. He's got 18. A 7 gets him to 25. So if he's 6 and under, he's a winner. 6 and under is a winner.
Okay. Let's see. Chugbot, how did Roger do?
That's a chaotic mess of a take. Starting with bold hope, then spiraling into strike paranoia and drugged up rants, only to fizzle out like his ex-meltdown ones. Classic cuck energy for not even finishing the thought. Cuck points. 8. You're cucking hard with that unhinged.
8, and I said they were going to win.
Brain.
I said the Guardians were gonna, the Browns were gonna suck, and I got 9 cuck points. Hold on, let's just.
You British cocksucker!
Wow,
Chugbot. Well, how do you define a cuck? Let's find out. Let's find out what he thinks about this. Okay, here he goes.
He's gonna use me and Ed in his definition.
All right.
So that won't be helpful.
How do you define a cuck?
A cuck, in this pod's twisted world, is a sorry sap who blindly worships their team, or anything, really, while taking endless L's, making excuses, and never facing reality. Like Roger's ex-rants at Ken Carmen or at his eternal Browns hope despite their QB mess.
That helped,
About
Andy.
being so loyal you look
Damn it.
pathetic.
Wow. Okay. I mean,
I think that's the right. I think that's the right definition. I mean, I just.
For how we apply it.
I don't know how the points were awarded, but I think Chugbot had the right definition in mind. Roger, you finished last.
He went completely. I said they weren't going to win, and he gave me 9 points. What would you gave me if I? Yeah.
So,
what did you get, Ed?
Andy, we tied at 25. He got we tied.
Hold on, we're gonna let. Don't
He's
spoil
crooked.
it.
Do a tiebreaker. Do a tiebreaker with them.
We have transparency, Andy. How is that spoiling it? People can count at home.
Well, but it's still interesting to let
I can't see that anymore.
Cuck announce the winner. He is the host, sort of. Okay.
Ed, I can't see the chat. There's people in the chat tonight?
Yeah, we had Sherry's. They had Steve was in, Pete's in. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't see it no more.
Give us the tally, please. Who are you declaring the winner?
Roger's ex-feud with Ken Carmen over the Guardians wasting Jose Ramirez's prime years turned embarrassing as his fanboy rant and meltdown, coupled with past outbursts at fans and Ed, tanked the pod's rep. While Ed played both sides and Roger accused Andy of disloyalty, Chugbot hosted the which Dawg Chug host is the biggest cut game, roasting Andy, Browns, Ed, Buckeyes, and Roger, Guardians, through 4 rounds, admitting team cuckery, criticizing their teams, answering tough questions, and predicting championships in 3 years. Grading on a 1-10 Cuck scale, Roger clinched the Cuck crown with 26 points for his unhinged rants, edging out Andy and Ed's 25-point tie.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's accurate.
That is accurate. That's the whole point, Andy, of me trying to hit
appealing. I'm going to appeal this. I'm appealing it to a higher court.
So Chugbot really added up all the points and remembered all that.
Yes.
Wow, that is amazing. That's Andy. That is amazing. That really is.
Technology today.
Yeah, like the fact that it took the 4 statements, gave scores, remembered the scores and stuff. Like, I don't know. I think I know some people say that's simplistic, and maybe it is, but I don't know. I think in today's world, I don't think kids could handle that math problem.
Now, Chugbot, Roger wants to appeal, and I'm going to give you a chance to respond.
Roger, you unhinged Guardians ranter, wants to appeal your freshly minted Cuck crown with 26 points? Let's break it down. You got slammed for your ex-meltdowns, like cursing out Ken Carmen and screaming at fans, your fanboy love for the front office, and that chaotic strike rant where you lost your damn mind mid-sentence. You want to appeal, but your cucker is as clear as your 8% masked head-soaked rants. Maybe take a page from Ed's playbook and chill with the yelling. You deaf-ass fossil.
Wow.
All I know is he's lucky I can't understand what he's saying.
Appeal denied.
I get that, but he's lucky I can't understand what he's saying.
To be fair, most of the people I talk to claim they can't understand you. So let's move it along to Spit Sip Chug, Ed.
Okay, all right.
Wow.
I think tonight you want to
people.
We still got rapid fire. Do you want to? We got 4, but do you want me to just pick out the 2 best ones, Andy?
Yeah, let's do the 2 best ones.
All right, here we go. All right, and then this one, okay. I think this goes into the heart, the meat of everything, and we'll start with you, Roger. Spit, Sip, Chug, a game with so much acclaim. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
It's so much game and acclaim and fame because I gave it its name. That's right. Spit, Sip, Chug. If you heavily agree, you will chug. If you disagree, you will spit. And if you are lukewarm, are we letting Roger sip tonight?
I think he should be allowed to sip because he is the biggest cuck on the Dawg Chug.
Fair enough. Okay, so I will say that statement's a statement, not a question, so don't question my statement. It starts with you, Roger. The Guardians can compete for divisions, but not World Series.
I'm going to spit on that. They went to the ALCS last year. How much more competing for a World Series do you want out of them? Here's the thing about baseball. Other than it being hard to play and understand, they. I don't even want to like sound demeaning. It's just read it to me again, Ed. I want to make sure that I say it correctly. I don't want to be accused of being a cuck. That they contend in the division, but not for the World Series. Here's the difference in baseball.
The
That's what you're saying,
Guardians,
right?
can
Right, the
compete for
Guardians.
division, not a win.
Compete for the division, but they're not. All right, right now we're like 14-5 in division. We own the division. I'm not afraid to play anybody in our division in a 3, 5, or 7 game series. None of them. We will win the Central Division. Detroit will run out of gas. They will hit the wall. They're 7 games up right now, or 6 games up. I'm not worried. You're either chasing a pennant or you're racing to a pennant. The Cleveland Guardians right now are racing to the pennant. Detroit's chasing us because we were there last year. We played for the pennant. We got the closest other than the Yankees. We got to the pennant. Right? We got to the pennant game. All right. We may have lost it, but we got there. Other than the Yankees, everybody else is chasing us, man. We're the state. We are the reigning race, pennant contenders. So a World Series is not out of the idea.
Okay.
Good answer, Andy.
I can't believe Roger appealed that he's the biggest cuck. That was it. Look, first of all, I'm gonna spit. This is not a team that's gonna win the division this year. Sorry, Roger. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not. And if we somehow make it, this is a team that doesn't have the troops that it would need to. I know the dumb thing. If you get to the playoffs, in baseball, you can get on a run and you could win. Cleveland is a team that's never done that. We've never gotten to the playoffs and just played off out of our ass like the Pacers did in this playoff series. And we just proved that even though we're like the inferior team, we got it done when it mattered. This Guardians team isn't going to do that either. It's not going to happen, Roger. Sorry. They've got to develop more talent and bring in more guys and figure it out, build it brick by brick. But this is like a half-built structure at this point, in my opinion. Last year was awesome. They played out their ass. And then when they got to the playoffs, they were the team that pretty much everyone...
Are you insane? Are you insane? What do you have? 11 until 11:15 on the squares, trying to set me off with saying stuff like that? Is that what the plan is?
I'm not trying to. First of all, my squares were at like 9:02 and 10:04, 10:02.
Yeah,
I already lost. This is just me being honest, Roger. I don't think this is a team that is it's got the juice to get that kind of accomplishment done.
I know. Nobody thought that last year, and we didn't.
No. Last year, I thought this team had a lot of chemistry, and I was really excited for what they could do. I still didn't believe they were going to be able to win.
And that's where the fanboying comes in, Andy. But that's where the fanboying comes in for you.
That's fine.
I understand it.
It was a fun team that it just felt like they had confidence, they had swagger,
and
they
now
had
they're
belief.
working for it a little bit. And it's scaring people, and I understand it.
I expected this would be a team, and I've said many times in the Dawg Chug, this would be kind of that sophomore slump where, it didn't come as easy as it did last year. And this is where the adversity hits, and they got to figure that out, and they got to, work through that. And they'll be a better team for working through that. But one of the sacrifices of doing that is this isn't the year for the Guardians. It's just not. They're not going to hit that 92 number you keep screaming. They're going to be more in the low 80s.
Okay, let's bookmark this show. I can't wait.
First of all, I've been saying this the entire time. So, maybe you get so drunk you don't listen, but this has been a consistent theme that I've been presenting this entire time. I love this team. I love where they're headed. I don't think they're ready to ascend today.
So you're saying they're headed home this year after the regular season?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if I'm sipping or chugging, but I want to chug, and I want to say this before I chug. Andy, I agree with every damn word that came out your mouth.
You guys are
And I also
dirty.
want to say,
Dirty.
the Guardians,
Dirty
you keep
people.
talking about like a down year. They were 2022, 90 wins, and also the Yankees in the first round or whatever like that. Next year, don't make the playoffs.
I'm
Then they make
drinking
the
water.
playoffs, win 90-some, lose to the Yankees. Now this year, they're not going to make the playoffs. It's up and down. It's like the Cleveland Browns with Kevin Stefanski. You make the playoffs. It's up and down with the Guardians. And here's the thing. You're right, Andy. This Guardians team, it doesn't have the horses that it had last year. And to make a run to win a championship, when does a team ever just like not be good and then just go on a magical run? Well, they almost did it in 1997, then when they were the Indians and Jarrett Wright, and they were up 2-1, bottom of the ninth, but we won't get into that. But that would be the only time that would be applicable to this Guardians team. Roger, you're talking about like as a fan, like, oh, it's work, and you called Andy a fanboy. How is he fanboying? Like a fanboy to me is somebody that like says like good stuff about him. Andy's being a realist. Last year they were good, and then it was a fun series with the Yankees, and we knew the Yankees were better. It was a gentleman's sweep, but it was games that we were in. They were fun, and we thought we're building some momentum to this year. We get it this year, and yes, we're doing what we need to do. We are the top wild card team. We would probably make the playoffs if we just grind it out. But all we're going to do is just grind it to the playoffs and then get your ass smoked by like a good team. We don't have the horses. And here's another thing too, that those teams in the 90s had. We had like either had good hitting or good bullpen. What does this team really have that's good? We play gritty, and every day it's a new star like a Schneemann or an Angel Martinez. But let's be real. Jose Ramirez, Stephen Kwan, who now may be hurt, and a bunch of mid 4A players that do really well together, but you're not beating these great teams because they're all going to just suddenly hit 300 in the playoffs. And it's not happening. We don't have the horses to compete for World Series. Be happy with your divisions. And you keep saying we're going to come back to the Tigers. The Tigers are a young team. Tarek Skubal and that Detroit Motor City Kitties, they're 7 or 6 games up on them. They ain't coming back. They came back last year out of nowhere to make the playoffs, and they carried that momentum, and they're just kicking ass this year. They're the up-and-coming team in the next 3 to 4 years in the American League Central. And if we don't get our act together, and if these studs that you keep talking about in the farm system don't get good, it's going to be some 81-win seasons. Andy, I think you're absolutely right, and that's why I'm chugging again.
Hey, I won. I had Ed going off at 11 to 11:15, so I won that one.
I will tell you, he just clipped himself.
Thank
All right.
you.
Anyway, and look, just to clarify, Roger, I think what they're doing is right. Like, they're not panicking. They're not saying, oh my gosh, we have to capitalize on last year's success by bringing in these pieces to keep going. I think many Cleveland teams have felt the pressure when things are headed in the right direction to give us that little nudge. And then we make the stupid trade. We bring in the wrong chemistry and everything just collapses. I love that this iteration of the Cleveland Guardians is sticking to the plan, because I think the plan is going to get us to the promised land. I just don't think it's like going to happen this year. And I'm not trying to piss you off. I'm just speaking.
Well, no, because I said in the beginning of the show, I don't even expect them to win a World Series this year.
Sure, I know that, but you're
I
also
expect
saying
them
they're
to
going
be
to
a
win 92
contender.
games.
92 games, yeah.
I don't see that. I don't see 92 wins.
But the whole original thing was that are they content? They were contenders for it. They will be contenders for it again this year. You know, I don't expect them to win the World Series.
Sure, no,
this year.
and I appreciate that. I just don't. I think this is a team that hit some adversity. It's not gonna go away. I think they're gonna continue to sort of be up and down, and they're gonna be a better team next year at the end of the year than they were when they started. And I think that's an important thing to do. But I don't think this is going to be a team that like just keeps building up.
Right.
As far as wins and losses, that's where I'm coming from. We're going to learn a lot about the guys that we have, what we need, what we have. And you've brought up a really good point in the past that we're going to probably make a big splash at the trade deadline. And I agree with that. If that splash is huge, which I don't think it'll be huge, maybe that is
no, it won't be.
So Yeah, just stick to the plan though. Like this isn't a team that needs to win today. So hopefully they do.
They did win today, though. Congratulations, Guardians. You did win today.
They had a 5-run eighth against the Yankees. You know what, man? I'm not arguing with you because I'm pretty much in the same page with you. But what I've been starting to think about is things change because of the strike that's coming up. Would they push all in? You know what I mean? No. What I'm saying is because what the core they have right now at this trade line, would they spend money because knowing that things may end in another season or two? You know what I mean? Instead of continuing to do business as usual and bring young guys through trying to build their team that way. Because that's what they do. They try to fill the holes through the minors until they have 9 guys out there that they think they can win a World Series with. You know what I mean?
They put it together. I hear you, and I agree with that. I just want to, like, you have such a funny way of revisionist history. When I iterated this the first time, you ended it with, "Are you fucking crazy?" But now you're like, me and you are on the same page.
No, that was because I was
kind of like him and Ken today. Kind of like him and Ken.
No, because I knew that you were trying to bait me into
I'm not
getting angry and explode.
No,
I feel like because of the whole thing, you guys are trying to bait me into exploding.
No.
This is your paranoia. I'm not trying to bait you. I'm just answering the question as honestly as I can.
Well, then we're pretty much in agreement.
Not a question, it's a statement. Ha.
Don't question my statement.
Anyway, but I love the Guardians and everything they're. I mean, it's such a fun team to watch. Man? We're watching these guys get better every day. It's just.
I think you know what, it's fair. I'm wrong in a lot of instances because I can watch baseball at such a minute level that I'm not even thinking about a fucking World Series, man. You know what I mean? Like where fans are like, we got to play, we got to win the World Series. Where I'm just like, man, is this guy going to develop into? Is this guy going to develop into a decent AAA second baseman? I hope. You know what I mean? Because he might help us in 2034. Maybe it's me. It's probably me.
Probably.
I don't care if we win a World Series. You know what? I don't give a shit if we win a World Series this year. I don't care. I just love baseball. I like to watch it every day. I like to watch their growth as players, as a team, as a club. And if they go out and play hard every night and they end up not winning a World Series with them,
everybody gets a ribbon.
It's not about ribbons. Baseball's different, man. It's just different. I don't watch Browns the same way. I don't watch.
You hate the Browns, Roger.
You know? Yeah, I do. That's true. Right. But even when I liked them a little bit, I didn't watch them like that. I just watch baseball at a different, minute, not level. I don't give a shit if they win the World Series or not. To be honest,
look. I agree with part of what you're saying. And part of what you're saying, I want to punch you in the face. Like, I think what you're saying is, we have a friend of the show, Nick Carnes. It's week 3 of Major League Baseball, and he'll post a tweet that the Cleveland Guardians, just went to 11-6, and now we're a half game in first place of the Detroit Tigers, and I want to punch him in the face. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you so obsessed with getting clout that you're just gonna talk? It
sounds like he's stating a fact, actually.
You're right, Andy. On May 28th, I don't give a shit about winning a World Series. You're right. You're 100% right.
Here's the thing. When I watched that game, I'm hoping the Guardians win because I'm investing in the game. It'd be really cool if they win this game. There's no part of me that's thinking, oh my God, if we win this game, then we're a half game ahead of the Detroit Tigers, and I could post this tweet that'll get 720 likes based on if I post it at 4 p.m. Like, it's so calculated and lame. And I love Nick.
You don't think I go to that extreme?
No, I'm just saying, I'm not watching baseball to think about the World Series in
right.
I'll be honest, if it's July, I'm not thinking about the World Series. I'm not thinking about anything.
Right.
I want the Guardians to make the playoffs, so then I know I have this extra journey, and then when we get to the playoffs, I'm like, I hope we win this round.
Well, then why are we fighting? Because I'm with you on that the whole way. Right. Why are we arguing?
The point is, I love that aspect of what you're trying to say, but then you're like, I hope they don't win a fucking World Series this year. I don't.
Well, no, you know what I said? I that was just That was the vino talking. That was the vino.
I understand. So I'm
okay.
responding.
But what
to
I
the-
don't on
the
May
fucking
28th,
dumb
I
words
don't
coming
care.
out of your mouth.
Yeah,
And I'm
on May
acknowledging
28th, I don't care. In September, I'm heartbroken. October, I'm
That was
heartbroken.
painful. It was a
Right.
very painful series against the New York Yankees when Noel hit that home run. What a fantastic moment. That was incredible. And that was like the peak
Yeah.
of that season. That was what that we proved that we can go play the Yankees and come up huge. And I loved the fight that gave the team for the future of the team. And now we're here and we're struggling a little bit. I mean, they're doing great. So
But I don't think
I
they're
don't want to minimize
struggling.
it. I don't want to minimize, but I'm just saying I just don't think this is the year they're gonna be able to rise above. And
They got some injuries. The starting pitching's not as strong. The bullpen's not as strong, and there's hitters that are injured. So I think from a man standpoint, we're down a lot.
Bieber comes back and can just instantly snap back
that
to
would
what
help.
he is. That probably changes the tune. But do I think that's likely to happen? Of course not.
Yeah. Well, you know what it's like.
Look at the Houston Astros last year. All right. Take a look at their season, 2024 season. They were nowhere near. They were like 12 games out at the All-Star break. They were nowhere. You know why? Because they're a veteran baseball team. And come end of July and August, they started playing baseball and they made it. Veteran baseball teams. Last year, we were the pace setters. This year, Detroit's the pace setters. They're going to run out of gas. They're going to hit a fucking wall. They're too young. I'm telling you, the Guardians they're doing the right thing by holding back on the bullpen. I'm telling you, man, they have a plan.
But you're comparing them to a veteran team when we are a very young team.
I know we're not exactly a veteran team.
No. That's the mistake. We're a young team by age, but by experience, considering the 2022 season, the 2023 season, and the 2024 season, the majority of that.
The Astros won the World Series. They knew how to win. We don't know how to win.
They have a lot of experience with.
All right.
But I'm just saying that it's too early. And you're right. I agree with you, Andy. You're right. I agree.
I really hope you're right because, it's going to be a depressing Brown season, as I've explained, and it would be fantastic if we could have the Guardians.
They're going to hug you all the way through at least the ALCS. The Guardians, I promise.
Love that. And
I promise.
Same thing. When I talk to Jacob, he always tells me they're going to win 9 games this season, and I'm like, okay, so stop smoking crack.
Everything.
And I want to tell you to stop smoking crack. I don't know. I guess I used to be like a homer. Now I'm just a hater.
Well, Andy, here's what we'll do since you want to talk about Roger. Our last spit, sip, chug question or statement, I should say. Sorry, wash my mouth out. Roger fighting on X is a bad thing. Roger fighting on X.
Oh, I'm sure. Who wrote this one?
Ed wrote all of these, by the way. Just being clear.
Roger fighting on X is a bad thing. Is he still chugging, or what is he doing here?
Is it starting with me? You want me to start?
No, I was going to start with Andy because he wanted to talk about you. So yeah.
Look, I hate when you can't give a decisive answer. Yeah. But I have to give a decisive answer because this is a very nuanced thing. There is an aspect I love about Roger fighting with people on X. But there's also something that makes me feel very cringy when it's someone that I really respect. And, I don't think there's a person in Cleveland that is more of an icon than fucking Ken Carman, a guy who has sort of said he might come do our show at some point. And if that happens, that would be the greatest thing ever.
I don't know anymore.
What's that?
Nothing.
And maybe, you're a little feuding with him. Maybe that gets him here. But all I know is I woke up and you did not come off particularly well. And that's just me being honest. And maybe I'm seeing it from my own lens. But I did have a number of people that reached out to me and are like, whoa, what is going on with your boy? I love when that happens, by the way. Stop pointing out to me when Roger's an asshole. Just you go ahead and deal with him. I don't, whatever. But anyway, point is, I did wake up to, a series of exchanges between two men I very much respect. And I thought he characterized you very, very, very accurately. It's surprising that such a big name, who has a lot going on. He's on the news. He does a morning show that has way more people than that watch our show. And he seemed to know you way better than than most would know you. It was very, very good exchange. And then it was like you were so deaf to what he was saying, then you just fired back in kind of an obnoxious way. And then you had this annoying tendency to respond to someone and then you wait and you respond again, like 30 seconds later, like with more. And at the end of the day, like I think you get one shot. Someone messages you, you respond, and then you should probably just like wait till they respond back. Is the way I
No, that's planned. Okay.
I think that comes off a little desperate. Like I need attention. You didn't respond to me either. I'm gonna fire back. So anyway, the point is, it didn't come off particularly well. Aspects of it, I like when you fight, but when I want you to fight, I want you to be doing emotional, and it's sort of the notes that I read. Like you
cut out. Ed, did he cut out? Did he cut out for you?
A little bit, but he's back. I heard him.
I didn't hear what he said. You want me to
what?
Right.
Sorry. Like when have you ever like sampled the wine?
Yes.
Like sniff the wine. Like you detect notes of blueberry and whatever, and and you try and tell what you're detecting. When I read your tweets responding to Ken Carmen, I detected rage and emotions and feelings, and I want you to fight from a place of confidence. I want you to do it for the show, not because Roger's pissed off and wants to fire back. It's just my feelings on the matter. Right. Today I felt like you went a little emotional, so I felt
emo.
Today's wasn't the best show, but I think when you do it in like a fuck this guy, I'm gonna fire back at him and show him why his take is pathetic. That's great. Do that all day long, and I support it. So,
wow,
this is all to say I'm puking. Very drunk.
Well, I think before I go to me, I was going to switch. I'm going to go to you on this, Roger.
You know what? Read it back to me.
That's a Cuck move.
Roger fighting on X is a bad thing. Roger fighting on X is a bad
I'm going to chug. I'm chugging.
Oh, he says it's a bad thing.
So you're agreeing it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Andy is 100% right. Oh. There's a couple things I do that I'd like to change. Number one, I don't want to get involved in a conversation or an argument when I'm in transit. In transit's bad because red light is when those responses come. And fucker, here's what I think now. You know what I mean? Because I don't have time to sit down and so what I need to do is concentrate on winning the lottery so I can sit at home all day and there's no gaps in the argument. So I understand that. That needs to be changed. But Andy, I agree 100%. There's times where I annoy myself. So I'll take it as constructive criticism and I'm going to grow from there.
Wow.
Nice. Dude, that's beautiful. I love that.
Wow.
Salute.
I don't even know, but I'm not even going to answer that statement. I'm just going to chug on Roger's answer. I totally agree with that answer. I'm going to chug on that answer. What more needs to be said? Self-awareness. Roger, you didn't even need all this Ed school or Roger school. You passed flying colors. You enrolled yourself. It was like a self-taught class. You read you watched the video. You took the test, and I think you passed, brother. I think you passed tonight.
They made me go to counseling once, and a counselor left better off afterwards. Thank me.
Wow.
Or
Only
that.
on the Dawg Chug. Only on the Dawg Chug will you get this kind of therapy. If anybody else out there, look, if we're looking to book guests, but it's not all about sports because actually, if you watch the show, we don't really know shit about sports, but we do know how to have a fun time. If you're out there watching this show and you have a conflict with somebody or need some therapy sessions, contact Roger. He's our booker. He's our booker, best booker in the business, and he'll get you a show. And this the healing session will free us all. So thank you.
Am I going under rapid fire? Who's the rapid fire tonight?
No, do you want Andy? I was going to put you but I think Roger can hear tonight. I think he can hear.
Why don't you? How about you just alternate?
Yeah,
I can do that. Let's do that. Okay, I'm going to go
Let's do it.
1-1. Okay, we can do that. Okay. All right.
Who's first? Andy, you go first. I'll be second.
Okay. Rapid fire. You have 3 seconds to answer. Andy, we'll start with you. Guardians' biggest need is starting pitching.
Yes.
Roger, right field is an absolute disaster.
Yes.
The Guardians are mostly just mid players that play well.
No.
Darius Garland will always be too fragile.
Yes.
Jared Allen is just a playoff pussy.
Yes.
Cavs need to re-sign Ty Jerome.
No.
Shador Sanders might be the real deal.
Sure.
Mason Graham will be solid.
Why not Goldblum?
Jerry Jeudy actually is a stud.
Yes.
Cleveland media are just a bunch of fanboys.
Yeah.
Cleveland needs to win a championship in the next 10 years or they are cursed.
No, because we're already cursed. Stop it.
And finally, does Roger give more anxiety than Ed in Columbus to Andy?
Yes.
And you guys are off rapid fire.
Wow, that worked out.
GM Andy
so
about
well.
you, Ed.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was And
I
shout out
used
to
to have-
Elfman too, by the way. I got to shout out Elfman.
I used to have major anxiety about Ed being on the show, but now it's all transferred to Roger.
Yes. Thank you, Roger.
You're right. I took all the heat off you, Ed.
Ed's the pros pro. I was talking to Lana today. She brought up a funny
I
question.
kind of wish Ken Carmen would watch this stupid episode.
Well, we'll clip it and send it to him.
This is a healing episode. I think we're better now. We're better.
I was talking to Lana though, and she said, like my obsession is Kevin Stefanski, and people are constantly talking shit about him, but I've never once gotten mad at any of them.
If I were her, I would be already kicked off X. I would have flipped out a long time ago. Are you kidding me?
And I said that's because you're a professional.
Discipline, Andy.
Right.
Discipline.
So Roger, we're gonna.
She's also she's a grown up. There's a lot of things.
We're gonna start a new bit on the Dawg Chug. I'm excited to announce. It's gonna be called Roger School, and we're gonna get Roger toughened up. We're gonna get him.
Here we go.
We're gonna work to get him
I'm
to
in.
become the man that we all know that he can be, and then the show's
I'm
gonna be
in.
better for it. Back in the day, Ed used to be a little bitch. He knows it. And
Now I'm a
we
big
worked with
bitch.
him. We worked with him, and now he's still annoying, but he no longer cries. It's the
You're right.
attitude.
As much, Andy. As much.
as much.
Maybe you're still crying, but you don't like pass it up the flagpole like you.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
All right. I'm in. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make season 4 of Dawg Chug, without counting, a success. How about that?
Awesome. This has been one of my favorite episodes of the Dawg Chug because it was just the three of us. We need to have more episodes without guests. We don't need guests.
I said I'm done trying to hunt down. You want to come on Dawg Chug? DM me. If not, we got the Schneemans coming in soon. They're working because they're traveling. They're watching their boy fucking kill it out there. Danny Schneeman toasted. Hey, if you got to raise your cup to anybody, it's Danny Schneeman, man. He's hitting a fastball this year. He made adjustments that are necessary to compete at the major league level. Last year, he couldn't hit the fastball. This year, he's hitting it out of the ballpark. So raise a glass to Danny Schneeman. We're going to have the Schneemans on soon. Clip that, Ed. And hey, if you want to be on Dawg Chug, DM us, any of us, or at Dawg Chug on X, and we'll get John to come join us. Have a good time.
But
And I
don't
won't.
feel like you
I
have
will
to
not.
because-
I will not yell at you. I promise.
Well, don't promise something you can't back up.
Every guest that ever been on
Read
here loves me.
my
They're all
lips.
they're all in my DMs.
You have definitely yelled at some guests that have been on the Dawg Chug. Are you kidding me?
They still love me.
Okay.
The
Mac
court
loves
ordered.
me. I yell at Mac.
All right. Well, with that, this has been in my
All
opinion,
right, one or two.
episode of the Dawg Chug. Roger, we're excited for the evolution.
Right? Roger's
You know,
school begins.
again,
First
still gotta be
school.
angry, still be pissed, still yell at people. People need to be yelled at, and I encourage it.
Will you help mold that into a successful machine?
That's the goal. We're gonna
Terror.
like I said,
All
Roger
right.
School is
All right.
gonna start.
I'm Andy's success story.
All right. With that, Ed, thank you so much for everything. By the way, Ed is the new official co-host of the Dawg Chug. Hopefully that will mean something starting next week, but we gave him that promotion.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
It's another way of Andy telling me I got more work to do.
And Roger, thank you for your X outreach. It's been incredible. And with that, yeah. We learned that Roger is the biggest cuck on the Dawg Chug. So
I am.
when you
Apparently.
call us fanboys, you better watch out because I mean Chug by rule. You're a bigger cuck than we are. And we're big cucks, Ed.
We are.
You agree. Yeah.
We are.
All right. So with that,
Can't argue. Can't argue with science.
Go Guardians. I can't wait until we go 7-6 over the next
13
2
games.
weeks.
But we'll win the series. We'll win the
We're gonna win the series, and I can't wait for that. And yeah, go a bunch of stupid tweets about the Cleveland Browns quarterbacks because we're in camp mode now, so everyone's just obsessed with that with these 4 losers.
I also did not buy a Rolls Royce, just so everybody knows. I also did not buy a Rolls Royce, so there's that.
All right, with that,